Okay, what's up, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing good. As always, guys, if you are enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like on the stream. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And of course, make sure you do hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But guys, welcome back to another stream. Glorious Monday. Hope everyone's doing well today. William, good morning. Good morning. Hope you're well. Karis, good morning. Hope you're good. Welcome to the stream. Philip, good morning. Hope you're well. Hope I beat the market this week. As Arsenal beat Spurs in the North London derby. Yeah, they got the job done, didn't they? Found a way to get it to get the win. Not the most emphatic way, but the win is there, and that's what you need to do in the markets as well. You don't need to hit a crazy trade. What team do I support? I support Chelsea. Unfortunately. Karis, I need a weekend for my weekend. Wow, that is a stressful weekend. What's up, Carl? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Michael, what is up? Good to see you again as well. Please help me make money. That's the goal, my man. That is the goal. 5 a.m. in South Florida. Damn, someone is up early. Kudos to you, because I'll struggle to go at 5. Gift, good morning. Hope you're doing good. Exactly. Hope everyone is catching some pips. And Keba, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. So yeah, guys, new week in the markets. New watch list as well, which I'll go through at some point during the stream. But at the moment, I'm currently long on Euro, which I entered on Thursday. Was it Thursday? Yes, it was Thursday. Which is going pretty well, actually. We had some nice continuation this Monday morning. USD is pretty weak and it's falling flat on its face. So that's really helping my Euro long position. But generally speaking, let's say USD is weak against most currencies right now. And Euro USD is flying pretty well. So I'm looking to take this one back to the high. I do expect a lot more upside for Euro USD longer term. I'm looking for us to push into 1.125. I actually do think we can go a lot higher than that, really. From a monthly perspective, I think we can go a lot higher to the 1.14, 1.15 areas, but that's a story for another day. For now, we're just going to look to see if we can swing it back to the high. Of course, I will be trading stops, so I don't have a finite target on this trade. So just see how far I can take it. I have trail stops to break even as well. So the trade looks more something like this at the moment. Yeah, we're going to see how far this can go. Pound USD is also looking pretty well. I was debating between Pound USD and Euro on Thursday, which one I should tackle, but Euro USD looked a little bit better to me in terms of the risk reward, in terms of the upside potential as well. But of course, as I've said many a times, if you're looking to long Euro, your Pound USD is always going to be a similar situation. So there's no point buying both or selling both. Just pick the better one and ride your luck on that one. And so far, Euro is looking pretty good. Only thing is, dollar is starting to hit a brick wall right now, and it's up to dollar if it wants to break through or if it wants to bounce. I could very much see a bounce just as much I can see price breaking through, because if we do look to our left, this is a pretty big level in the market. 100.663. Last time we were here, massive rejection, push all the way up to 106 areas. So I do think longer term, dollar is going to break through and come back to this low. Hence why I'm expecting Euro to keep pushing up higher as well. So I do think dollar will break through, but I could be a bit early on that bias. Maybe dollar wants to go for a bigger retracement and then make the move. So that's a possibility, but I'm only kind of interested in playing dollar weakness for now. So yeah, looking to see if dollar can break through. If it does, fantastic. If it doesn't, I'll be trailing out my trade for break even probably. But yeah, definitely this morning, dollar's pretty weak. Dollar is pretty weak. Okay, so where are we then? What's up, Elder? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Welcome. Karis, I'm trying to make you a part of my morning routine. Wicked. Yeah, a few people have done that, to be fair. It's an effective morning routine, I have to say. But yeah, I mean, I'm here every morning, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Of course, if I'm not, I'll let you guys know. But 9 times out of 10, I'm here. So, yeah. What's up, Ben? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Cool trade. Appreciate it, Curl. This week, big week this week, rate cuts on Wednesday. Yes, that is very, very true. I need to go through the economic calendar, actually see what's fully in store. Okay, probably going to take it easy, feeling a bit out at the moment. Being a tough couple of weeks for me personally with trading. It happens, my man. Again, the reality of trading is that you're not always going to be up, 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 up. You know, you're going to have your down moments, and those down moments are so, so important because for me, those down moments and how you manage those is this main separation between a winning and a losing trader overall. Because of course, we all go through winning and losing periods. But why trading is so difficult is because when you do go into the drawdown, which is inevitable, you know, are you able to stay consistent and stay, well managed, and eventually call yourself back out of that drawdown? And that's for me is the toughest challenge in trading, is going through that losing period, is staying consistent, staying composed, and getting yourself back out of it, and doing that time and time and time again. But then the funny thing is, if you do it time and time and time again, drawdown becomes very common, very kind of common and very just natural to you. So you're not so stressed by it. But the hardest thing in trading is coming out of that drawdown. So my biggest advice would be take it slow. You rather kind of stop the bleeding than try and reverse it quickly. And as long as you've got an edge, you've got a strategy which you're comfortable with, you want to stay true to that. Of course, pick the best quality trades you can find as well. But, we all go through those times. But yeah, taking a break, taking it easy is definitely a good thing to do as well. I'm pretty sure a lot of us will benefit from doing that more often. Morning, Tom. Welcome to the stream. You mean afternoon? Well, it's still morning for me, but afternoon to you. Exactly. No need to rush. Take it easy. We've all got, the markets ain't going anywhere. I'll go through my watch list. There's a few on there, but I'm actually really liking the yen pairs at the moment. They're currently bleeding to the downside pretty heavily, but I do like them maybe for some short-term buys if they look good, but mainly for the long-term sells, because this to me really does look like the markets have changed direction. I know it's a little bit late because we've been bleeding since the top of, since July, but what it tells me that longer term, that these guys probably do have a lot more downside in them, especially like pound yen, for example. If you look at where we are on the higher time frames, the monthly chart, just taking out that high, seeing crazy rejection. We did that back over here. Look at the move we had afterwards. If history repeats itself, we've got a long, long way to go. And I'm not necessarily looking for such a move back down to the lows. It's a big possibility, but I'm a trader, not an investor in pound yen. So, I'll be looking to see if I can swing as many short trades as possible to the downside, but I'll be trading stops. I'll be probably taking some partials if I need to. I'm not going to look to trade the whole move, but I know the potential is there, which is the key thing I'm trying to get at. The potential is there for the markets to keep bleeding. So that means for a swing trader, it makes our job very, very easy, because any kind of meaningful up move we see, there's a very high chance the market is just going to top out and come back down again. So it means for me, I'm just looking for those lower highs, looking for my setups, and then shorting, really. Of course, not every trade will be a winner. But if my directional bias is correct, then there's going to be a lot more money to be made going down than going up. And that's mainly for swing traders. Of course, day trading, be buying and selling. But the direction for me looks very, very much down longer term. The same with these other yen pairs as well. CAD yen breaking through 105. I'm looking at CAD yen coming back down to 100.8 now. New Zealand yen looking pretty bearish. Euro yen as well. I mean, this one's coming into some major supports, and maybe we do bounce for now. But again, I do expect us to break through. Swiss yen especially, I'm expecting that one to break through as well. I mean, it has broken through, but I do expect further downside. All I'm looking for really is just a retest somewhere too short. So I'm going to keep my eyes on quite a few yen pairs. I like Swiss and dollar yen in particular, but I'm going to keep my eyes on a few of them, just see which one sets up really, and that'll be the one I pounce on. In terms of USD, I'm already in Euro USD. So in terms of USD, that's kind of, that box is kind of ticked. So I'm not really looking to get involved in anything else really. Pound USD's kind of sailed away anyway. New Zealand dollar doesn't really look like a good buy for me anyway as we approach resistance. Aussie dollar, that trade set up quite nicely, but yeah, I'm not in that position, so nothing to report on. Gold and silver just flying high, like they're running out of fashion, really, because there's just no sign of a meaningful pullback at all. We had a slight bearish candle there in the 4 hour, but other than an intraday minor pullback, we're not really seeing much here. So gold, the retest is still very much on. I'm not going to rule it out because if it does come back down, for me, that's still a quality opportunity. But I just don't think we will see that retest. And silver looking really bullish as well. I do think silver's making its way back to the high. If this one decides it wants to pull back at some point, I'll be ready there waiting to take some buys, hopefully on the retest of this high now. And then, yeah, looking to swing it back to 32.15. So extremely bullish on silver, extremely bullish on gold, very bearish on USD. Any opportunity I go for will be kind of just USD weakness, unless I look for some shorter term trade, but probably not at this point. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with USD pairs. Yeah, I will go through oil, Elder, no problem. Let me just finish going through my watches. So in terms of yen pairs, Swiss yen, dollar yen looks good. Of course, managing euro, but if silver and gold does pull back, I'll be more than happy to find some trades there. CAD pairs, I'm not really too interested in. I had a look at over the weekend. Not quite doing it for me, to be honest. Aussie CAD, still not a big fan of this one. Pound CAD actually having a big break above the high there. That's pretty significant. We'll see how that daily candle does close, but it's looking pretty bullish, but not really interested in trading it. New Zealand CAD coming back into this high. I still do expect to see some downside as long as we can maintain that level as resistance, but we potentially could break out as well. Maybe if pound CAD is breaking out, maybe it's a sign that New Zealand CAD will follow. Looks like CAD is quite weak, but we'll see. But it's another pair I'm not really interested in trading at the moment. Euro NZD, I do like the sells from this area here. If I drop to the 4 hour, see a little bit better. Lovely support here. Basically, the neckline of this head and shoulder pattern. That's where I want to position myself short. But at the moment, not quite there yet. I do think we'll probably push anyway because there's probably some early sellers here, some stop losses here, which could be looked to be triggered to get me my trade. But we'll see. But that's the opportunity I'm looking at. Pound NZD, not really interested in. Euro Aussie, no. Pound Aussie, not really. Euro Pound, no. And then CHF pairs, not really as well. I was looking at pound CHF, but it's too messy for me. I might entertain Aussie CHF if it comes back into the low here and look to try and see if I can catch a nice kind of reversal off that low. So that might entertain me. Same situation, kind of New Zealand CHF, but I prefer Aussie. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, to be honest, in terms of my trading. Not a lot, but there's definitely some opportunities there. I'll go through oil for Elder. Nkebo will go through Euro Pound as well. Is that a long position? I assume so, but we'll go for it. So yeah, in terms of oil, we've hit some major support last time I checked, and we've kind of bounced from it. So yeah, what's the deal with oil? So we come back into the low here. So it's not a bad place for a long. It's not a bad place for a long. I kind of do expect it to break longer term, but yeah, you're not going to be looking to short here anyway. You want price to push up. So yeah, it's a nice place for a buy. Huge impulse to the upside. Price create support. Test it a few times. It's not a bad place for a long at all. Maybe the ship is kind of already sailed there. If you're looking for your entries, kind of want to be involved already. Let me just get that to the low. You kind of want to already be involved. So I wouldn't be, shy away from the sells actually as we come back into this area, because I was actually looking for the retest of this zone when it did break, but it never really had the retest. It kind of just kept falling. So if oil was kind enough to keep pushing up high back to 71.72, I feel like that's a nice place for a short and possibly a swing, right back to where we came from, 66. So I like that for a short. The longs look good, but you need price to be back at the low here. I think entering some buys here, unless you're kind of really intraday, like 15-minute or maybe like 30-minute, maybe you can find some nice setups and the breaking retest of some lows here as you come into this area and try and find some buys there to take it back up again. That could look good. But in terms of the significant levels on the higher time frames, or 4 hour at least, 71.72 looks really good to me. And also this low here as well, 66. So if you're looking for some sells, I'll be looking for price to push a little bit high. If you're looking for some buys, I'll be seeing if you can come back, retest that support, and see if you can find some rejection. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with oil. I think longer term bias, I'm going to wait for things to play out, wait for some more price action. But in terms of some nice intra-week swings, I feel like this looks really good. A retest of 71.72, see if you can take that back down again. Market's been so consistent with all those lower highs. Let's see if we can spot another one for another sell-off. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with oil. We'll go through Euro Pound as well. So I do like Euro Pound to a degree. It's just very, very choppy. And if I'm looking to trade Euro Pound, the price action has always got to be kind of A1, because from my experience trading Euro Pound, it's always a very kind of slow and choppy pair. It has its moments of course, that's a really nice move, and that's a pretty nice move down there as well. But, on average, it's just a very, very choppy pair, if you have a look through. So if you're going to trade it, it needs to be looking pretty good. And the key thing I want to be looking at is momentum, which is not a bad amount, but right now it gets quite choppy. So if you're looking to short, you kind of want price to be up high, because I've marked out a couple levels where I look to short from, which is this area here, 0.845, and this area here, 0.85. Those are the two levels which I would consider shorting from. Big level there, retested, expecting on the lower high continuation, or we form it at this area and continue down. But the key thing I'm looking for is that we had a big bearish move. I'm looking for a pullback of that for some more downside. You've got some bullish targets, 0.86. That's back at the high, I assume. Yeah, pretty much back at the high. Where have you long from? Is that your entry, 0.828? Or is that where you're looking to buy? 828. Okay, so 828 is all the way down here. Wow. So you're looking for price to get to here, I would assume, and then you're looking to buy it back up to 0.86. Okay, that's a pretty big move there for Euro Pound, I must admit. I mean, where you're buying it from, I like it. I mean, depends on the stop loss though. But in terms of major support, this is definitely a huge level on the weekly, monthly time frame where we've struggled to break through since 2016. So it's definitely a meaningful level, and a push to 0.86 is pretty reasonable as well if it does hold. But yeah, that might take its time though. You're looking at a pretty big swing trade, especially in Euro Pound. That could take pretty long. That could take more than 6 months potentially. When you look down here, we consolidated for about 10 months, and then it took us about 3 or 4 to get going. So we need to factor that in as well. But yeah, in terms of the technicals, it makes a lot of sense. It's massive support, and a push to 0.86, if it does hold, is pretty reasonable. You could probably even expect a push back to the highs up there as well. But yeah, that's a bit far. So the swing is there. The swing is there. It's just it's going to take a lot of patience to see that trade through, I would suggest anyway. But more in terms of more immediate price action, I'm looking at that for Euro Pound. Whether I trade it or not, I'll keep an eye on it, but I probably won't. Just the price action is quite choppy for me, so I'll keep an eye, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. So yeah, let me know what time frame you're going to use to enter that trade, because I'm interested for such a big move. Good morning, Roadway. Welcome to the stream. I hope you are doing good. Welcome. Is anyone in any positions at the moment? I mean, it's only Monday, so if you probably haven't entered a trade, if you haven't held a trade over the weekend, probably not in a position. Because I know a lot of people don't like trading Mondays as well. Me personally, I don't mind. I'll trade any day of the week. Yeah, I've looked across my data. There's no kind of real evidence that one day is better than the other, apart from maybe Wednesday. But yeah, I'll trade any day. I used to have really bad results on Mondays, like maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. Every single Monday, I would just lose money. But that was more just because of my eagerness to take trades and my impulsiveness rather than the quality of the price action. Because I would lose a lot of money on Monday and try and spend the rest of the week trying to make it back, which is just never a good place to be in because you're always starting off the week with the mentality of I've got to get back, I've got to get back, rather than trying to just trade from a place of confidence. I have not looked at pound yen. I will go have a look for you, no problem. Just in the pound USD trade, nice, holding till double top. Okay, so you're looking to take it back to the swing high there, which is 1.326 ish. Yeah, I mean, it's looking really good. I must admit, it's looking really good now that we kind of had that short little pause there and price is committed to the upside. You're looking good there, Will. I must admit, we may come back for a retest, but that could just be an opportunity to add to the position. I don't know if that's your thing, but that could be an opportunity for adding positions on. Maybe stop loss below here, and then see if you can really milk pound USD for what it's worth. But of course, that's up to you. But yeah, in terms of the PA, everything's looking really good. I must admit, higher time frames look good. I think the daily candle closure was really nice on the retest of this high here. So yeah, pound USD for me, very good chance of getting back to the high. Of course, anything can happen, and let me not jinx it. But yeah, so far momentum and how things are looking, yeah, I like pound USD. In terms of pound yen, so pound yen, I am very bearish on. I do think this one can go a lot further. However, I do need to see a bit of a retracement for pound yen because we've been falling pretty hard for the past 2-3 weeks since the 2nd of September. We've just been falling pretty hard. So as someone who likes taking their trades in the 4 hour and looking for those 4 hour swings, I need price to have a breather because we've had a really nice bearish swing. Now I need to see some type of pullback of that move so I can get involved in the next one. So I'm waiting for some upside on these yen pairs. I think they're all pretty stretched. Yeah, Swiss yen, really big move. Aussie, dollar yen, euro yen. Yeah, they all pretty much had some really nice moves down. So they're getting a bit corrective now, showing some signs that they're slowing down, especially pound yen with these wicks here as well. So if you're looking to short, now's not the time really. Even if you're looking at intraday, nice break and retest last week, but I think you're not really looking at any break and retest now, especially how corrected price is getting. So if pound yen can have a bit of a breather, I'm looking around this area here. So where we had price support around 189, 188.5. If we can get back there, that'll be much appreciated. If I can whip out the Fibonacci from the high to the low, yeah, we've got the 50% there. So that'll be a very nice place for some entries, something like this, stops above the zone, and then yeah, trying to see how far I can take it. But I am looking for pound yen to get back into this support level here at 180. So I'm expecting a lot more downside for pound yen over the next few days, but I do want to see a bit of a breather first. Hopefully we can get it this week, which is kind of the main thing I'm after this week. Other than USD weakness, I'm after some yen weakness really to see the yen pairs fall back, and then I'm just going to attack them to the downside. Aussie CAD Raheel, we will take a look, no problemo. Afternoon, Antonio, welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Favor USD CAD. Okay, we'll take a look. Geez, a lot of pairs you are requesting there. Euro peso. Okay, I don't think I've looked at Euro peso before. I've looked at USD peso, but not Euro peso. But there's a first for everything. Oil, okay, and pound Aussie as well. Nice little to-do list for myself there. So yeah, in terms of USD CAD, actually USD CAD is not a bad one because USD CAD hasn't actually moved yet, and I'm still very bearish on USD. So if things look good, I actually may look for entries on USD CAD. But the key thing for me is that as long as we can hold 1.36, I am looking for a big sell back to the lows, and eventually these lows, if I go to the higher time frames, we've got massive range here for USD CAD. Of course, there's our highs and there's our lows. This is about as textbook of a range you'll ever find. Price is moving very, very well within the range, or as well as we could do. Recently, we've had a rejection off the high. So simply, I'm looking for price to come back into the lower end, which is around 1.325. And looks like we're having a brief pause here and retesting this level. So the plan is, if price can hold this level, I'm expecting a continuation and price to eventually come back to the low. But for now, we'll just talk about this area because I'm expecting a lot to happen between now and that low. But yeah, the key thing for me is that not pound USD, is that USD CAD is still holding onto this level. So what I want to see is price push higher back to the high there at 1.362-ish. And that's where I want to be looking to find my entries. So if you can come up there, reject that level, nice bearish engulfing candle, enter there, stop above the high, and then you're looking to take advantage of a push to the low. That to me looks like a really nice opportunity there. And I would look to take it because Euro USD I'm break even on. So there's no risk involved. So if USD becomes really strong for some reason and it takes out this position break even, I'll take the loss in USD CAD, but Euro there won't be a loss. And so I'm not doubling up unnecessarily. So I wouldn't mind getting into USD CAD if it does set up quite nicely. I think the key thing is that CAD is a bit weak as well, because of course we just saw pound CAD was pushing pretty hard to the upside. Aussie CAD likewise, Euro CAD likewise there. So CAD is pretty weak and USD is pretty weak. So it's the battle of the weaker currency right now. I still expect USD CAD to keep falling though, and continuous move back to the low end of the range. It's just we need to stay below 1.36. If we break above, I will fold my arms and just reanalyze and go again. But I wouldn't be looking to trade it at that point. So yeah, USD CAD looks like a nice opportunity. Top down perspective, there's multiple reasons why I expect price to go lower. Just need to see if we can find a nice entry. In terms of Euro peso, again, I don't really advise people looking to trade Euro peso if you're looking for markets to trade. I mean, don't get me wrong. Oh, I have looked at it before. I wonder who asked me that, because I definitely haven't looked at it off my own accord. Someone probably asked me to analyze it, and I did. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend looking to trade Euro peso. There's a lot of other pairs which I would recommend you can trade before you trade peso. If there's a good opportunity to the downside, maybe if you're looking to get involved with Euro peso, I would say look to sell it. Don't buy it because the swaps will be crazy. But yeah, I would suggest trading other pairs. But I will have a look, of course. Okay. So yeah, Euro peso, I would still be looking at more downside for this one. There's a major low back over here, which I feel like we'll probably come back and retest and maybe use that as a means to go higher. But for now, we've had a really big push up, and I'm just expecting the market to top out and come back down again. In terms of opportunities to trade, it's difficult because we're still kind of forming these higher lows. If you're looking to short, it's always going to be a little bit aggressive. If you can come back and retest some of this structure here, that would probably be the safer place for an entry. So retesting that low, or even retesting this area here, it's kind of where I'll look for entries, so I can get at least a stop loss above a decent level, and then see if I can swing it back to 20.4, which is roughly that big level I just marked out on the daily or the weekly, and back into this area roughly. But yeah, I would be looking for Euro peso to roll over. I would be looking for it to roll over. So I wouldn't mind that because it's a sell. So I know that the swaps will actually be positive for me. I'm pretty sure they would be. Yeah, that would be positive. But yeah, buys will be, especially with swing trading as well, will be absolutely hectic. So I wouldn't do that. But yeah, if you can get some pullbacks, 21.7, 21.9 look good, and see what type of price action you can get there. If it looks good, see some nice rejection. Entries look good in that area, and I'll be looking at targets around there. Okay, hopefully that made sense on Euro peso. I'll have a look at oil quickly and go over pound Aussie as well. Roadway with 25 base point cuts be disappointing to the markets in terms of movement. How would it affect it? Let me go check the economic calendar. What's it supposed to be? Because I haven't actually had a look yet. Okay, interest rate. When is it? Is it Wednesday? Nope. No, it is Wednesday. Okay, yeah, Wednesday, 7 p.m. UK time, Fed interest rate decision, 5.5 and expected to cut to 5.25. So your question was, disappointing the market in terms of movement, how would it affect? I don't know if disappointing is the right word, but it will be as expected. If it does drop by 25 and the consensus was 25, then it's kind of as expected. So you won't see the market do anything out of the norm. Of course, you would see the usual effect to USD with the rates dropping, but it won't be anything crazy. If it drops by 0.5, then that will make a lot of noise in the market because it's more than was expected. So if it drops by 25, it just kind of, the market was expecting that, so the market wouldn't do anything crazy. But 50, yeah, that would cause some movement. Scam pump on Wednesday after the cut, dump on Thursday. Yeah, could see that happen as well. Could see that happening. We could even see that happen because there's always that press conference at 7:30 as well. We could see the market maybe push up from the Fed interest rate and then maybe dump at 7:30 when the press conference comes out. I'd definitely say keep a close eye on that because we tend to see the market move one way and then completely switch directions after the press conference comes out as well. But yeah, it should be interesting because I think this is the first rate cut in a while. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Yeah, of course, of course. Whatever the Fed say will be big, and I think it's just how they um, they express themselves will then cause a lot of economists to say something, and then of course everyone's going to take that to the markets and go crazy and go bonkers. But it's always just if they say anything out of the norm, which will cause the market to go crazy, because everyone's going to have what they're expecting the rates to be and what the Fed is going to say. And then if they say something more aggressively or less aggressively, then that will cause a movement in the market. Okay, let me quickly go through oil. So in terms of oil, yeah, we just hit a massive level on the weekly, which funny enough, I actually do expect us to break through eventually. But for now, we've had a slight bounce, which is cool. And last week we left behind a really nice level, which we didn't retest around 71.72. So I would be anticipating some downside from that area if we were to get there, of course, and simply just try and look to catch that next lower high. But a high over there, there's your second one, looking for the third one, and the continuation of that. If you're looking to buy, then of course you want price to be back at the level, and then looking for your entries back at the low, stops below, and try and take a reverse off that low. It's a big level of support. Price can definitely bounce from that. Last time we were here, look at the move we had. So there is upside potential, but yeah, the shorts look equally as good I don't think we're going to hold that level. I do think it's going to break. So yeah, if I was looking to trade oil, I'll be looking at something like this. I wouldn't be so interested in the buys. I'd be more interested in the sells, and I'll be looking for entries around that area. See if I can take it back to the low. And in terms of pound Aussie still somewhat bullish, climbing higher. I like pound Aussie to the upside. If it comes back for a retest, I may consider some entries. The key thing I'm noticing for pound Aussie is that we're continuously putting in these high lows, 1, 2, 3, double bottom there, 4. So the key thing for me is that as long as we maintain that, price is likely going to push back to the high. I do expect us to eventually dump, but for now, the move, at least for this week, is probably taking pound Aussie back to where we came from at 1.99 or 2.000. So as long as we stay above this high, which we're trading on now, 1.95, this to me looks like a nice place for a long. Price action isn't particularly great, but the key thing is that we're still holding this level. So as long as we maintain that, this could be a really nice place for an entry, nice bullish engulfing, entry like so, stops below the low, bit of wiggle room, and then yeah, taking it back to the high there. That's a nice, reasonable first target. Then if we're looking good, hopefully you can swing it back to the daily level up there. So that's very much the move I'm looking at for pound Aussie. As long as we can hold 1.95, I'm looking at 1.99. And then later on, we can discuss some sells if things look good. But for now, that's the move I'm eyeing up. So yeah, pretty bullish on pound Aussie so far. Entry point 69.32. Is that oil you're talking about? I saw it. Please check it out. Okay, I'll have a look. I believe it's oil. If not, let me know. What's up, NHD? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Welcome. Futures markets pricing 60% of 50 base points and 4% chance of 25. Okay, so expected to be 50. I didn't know that. Okay, yeah, true. Because it's neither. Yeah, I didn't know. So 60%, 50. How would you know that? Is there something that that tells you that? Because I didn't know that you can know that beforehand. Tom, ain't that a head and shoulders on the 4 hour and GA bearish bias, but we'll wait for the breach of 1.95. Head and shoulder. Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about. The left over here, the head over there, and the right shoulder there. That makes sense. That does make sense. That does make sense. And then, yeah, if we do break 1.95, then of course that's the neckline break there as well. So yeah, I like the buy simply because of how the market is moving and how we're moving in these kind of steps and retaining these higher lows. And now that we're breaking above this area, I would expect price to go higher. But your head and shoulder point does have some logic to it as well. And if you're looking to take a sell, you're going to wait for that level to break anyway, most likely. So if we are going to, let me just clean up the chart. If we are going to break underneath this and break 1.95, then yeah, you would be expecting sells anyway back to that low, which will be 1.93. So that would be the trade. But for now, since we're holding on to this level here and we're still retaining all of this bullish momentum, weekly chart still seeing really nice candlesticks to the upside, I would still be bullish on pound Aussie for now. But if you are going to break underneath and use that head and shoulder pattern, then yeah, I would I'll lose that bullish bias and look for the shorts there. But for now, since we're holding, I would be bullish. If you don't want to take the trade or if you don't want to take the trade based on that pattern forming there, that makes complete sense as well. But if it does break, then I always swap the bias anyway. But yeah, I can definitely understand your point there. It makes sense, and again, that's the beauty of the market. People can look at the same chart and want to sell the same chart that someone wants to buy. But for now, I would be bullish on GA based on the high lows. But if we crack it, I will swap the bias. Google CME Fed Watch tool, and it shows you what the market's expecting. Okay, I'll definitely note that down. Didn't know something like that existed, to be fair. Okay, so yeah, if 60% is looking for 50 and 40% is looking 25, so it's kind of like almost a 50-50 split of people expecting 50, people expecting 25. So that means it's not like an overwhelming expectation of a certain figure, which, yeah, as you said, either one should cause movement in the market, especially if it's 25 base points at that point, because 60% favor 50. But yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I'm getting my source from my FX book, and it says the consensus is 25 is the drop to 5.25. So I don't know. Again, the main thing as a technical trader is I'm just going to see what the market does, see what the numbers are, see how the market reacts, and then adjust. Yeah, and see what the technicals say. At the moment, for me, USD is very, very bearish. So I'm gonna retain that bearish bias for now. For me to be bullish, yeah, I probably wouldn't even be bullish. Even if the market reacts to the upside, I'll be looking for higher prices to set it back down. So I'm very, very bearish for USD, unless something crazy happens like that, which of course will take a lot of time. But I'm just looking for that top on USD, see if it keeps falling or we push back. So yeah, I'm very much set in my ways for the better or for the worse. But yeah, I'll see what happens with the interest rates on Wednesday. I'll probably still be in my Euro USD position by then as well. So it should be interesting for me too. That happens, a lot of people are going to be disappointed. Yeah, if that's the case. Pound USD supply zone around 1.322. Okay. Oh, and Kev, I can see you're very active in the markets. How many trades a week do you normally take? Just me, just being nosy, by the way. But yeah, I'll have a look at Pound USD, also Euro USD supply zone 1.118. Okay, so you're looking for some shorts here. I'm very bullish on both pound and both pound and euro, so I'm anticipating upside. Of course, I'm not blind. I can definitely see that price is coming back to some areas here where we could struggle and we could definitely sell off. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm just a trader. But based on my high time frame analysis, I do expect to see pound USD and euro USD keep pushing, at least back to their highs. Maybe we do have a bigger sell-off. Yeah, I can definitely see pound USD going for a bigger pullback at some stage, but I at least expect us to get back to the high before maybe we do something like that. Same with euro. I kind of expect us at least to get back to the high before maybe we go for a bigger pullback. Actually, at least this high here, and then maybe price might take a bigger dive. So that bigger move for euro and pound is coming at some point. But for now, especially with the momentum we're seeing, I do expect us to keep continuing back to the highs. But for now, if you're looking to sell, this is the place to sell. Coming back into supply here, trying to expect the next low high, one over there, second, third, this would be the place where you would look to take some shorts. So in terms of the location and where you're looking to take your positions, I like it. It's very consistent. It's very, very smart places. Of course, you won't always be right, but if the market is going to sell off at all, this is a logical place for it. How do you enter your trades? Do you wait for some price action signals or you just enter when price gets there? For me, of course, I do use my candlesticks, so I would wait to see some evidence, at least on the hourly, of some type of reversal. So some wicks, bullish, bearish engulfings. That's what I'll be keeping my eye out for. Of course, at the moment, it's a bit too early to say, but it's in a nice area where we could see some downside. Likewise for euro as well. As we do come back into this high, we could see the market sell off. So It makes sense where you're looking to take your shorts from. It makes sense. I cannot knock it. Of course, I have a bullish bias, but if the market is gonna, if it is gonna reverse, that's kind of where I expect it to do it from. So I like the shorts, but yeah, I do think we'll break past those areas eventually. More JY holding Aussie CAD short from 0.915. What do you think about that? Okay, we'll have a look. See. Fancying some yen weakness this week. UJ looks cleaner to me than GJ, but I'm expecting pound to be stronger than dollar. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking for a similar move as well. I do think the yen pairs have fallen pretty hard, so it's kind of time for them to see some upside. I'm not so keen on the buys. If things look good, I may look for a buy with UJ as well, like you said. If I'm going to take a buy on the yen pairs, dollar yen looks the best because number one, we've come into a really big low here on the daily chart, which is this swing low here. We're trading at the bottom of this descending channel there as well. So there is that potential move back to the higher end of the channel, and of course respecting that low at the same time. It's not such a bad place for a buy. And I do expect to see the market pull back at some point. It's either it pulls back here or maybe at the next level down. So I do like the buys there for UJ. Like I said, I'm very longer term bearish on these yen pairs. So if it does push up, I'll be looking to sell it at some point as well to take it back down again. But these yen pairs have all had some really nice moves in the past couple of weeks. I think they are starting to run out of a bit of juice. GJ, again, looks like it probably will see some upside. You can see the wicks that we've been printing down here. I think in terms of the candlesticks, GJ looks pretty good, but in terms of the location, it's not necessarily testing a significant area for me or an area that fits my plan to actually take a buy. So GJ, I'm going to have to kind of leave hanging. But UJ, dollar yen, is actually at a nice area of confluence where it actually makes sense to see some upside. So if you're looking to get involved with the yen pairs this week for some buys, UJ looks the most promising, which I agree with Ben on. So yeah, if I get involved, I'm looking to buy it to sell it really. Currently trading slightly below the level, so I need price to be back above it, but we'll see how things close. But yeah, I think it's a nice area. I do think yen can see a bit of weakness as well, just to take a bit of a breather. I'll go through Aussie CAD for JY. So you said you got a short from 0.915. Let us see where that is. 915, 915. Okay, that's pretty much where price is right now. What's your targets? What's your targets and where's your stop loss as well, JY? Only reason I'm asking is so I can be a bit more of help on your position, because if I know your target, I know your stop loss, I can see what type of move you're looking for. Whether you're looking for swing back to the low here, or you're looking for a quick intraday trade into the high. It's going to be requiring different thought processes. But yeah, in terms of Aussie CADs, I've been bashing this pair quite a lot. I don't really like the pair, how it's moving. It has its moments, don't get me wrong, but I can't really get a good read of what Aussie CAD is trying to do. I can see there's some slight bullish trend here, but it's very slight, and it's nothing really to write home about. Maybe that trend's going to look to continue, possibly, or maybe it's just a large correction for price to reverse. That could be the reality as well. It's not really coming into any significant area right now. I know we had the retest of this high here not long ago, but it's not really trading at any significant area for me anyway, at least on the time frames that I look at. So I'm not a big fan of Aussie CAD, I must say. I don't mind where you're shorting from in terms of a swing outlook, because if we are going to keep up these lower highs, then now's not a bad place, or here's not a bad place for that lower high to be priced in. But yeah, where's your stop loss? I would assume it's either above the wick there or maybe above the high here. If it's above the high there, you give yourself a little bit more room to work with, and I think it's a bit more reasonable. Above the wick here, It's a bit tight, but of course, if it plays out, your risk rewards maximize. But like I said, I'm not really seeing much significance here. I can see maybe a bit of supply in the low time frames that you're looking to short from. That might be what's enticed you into the trade. But yeah, there's not a lot going for me right now, I must say, because the most important thing to me is a clear cut buy. So what I'm expecting the market to do. I don't really have that with Aussie Cat, so I'm not much help. I think intraday I can see where we've come into, meaning why shorts could look good. But because it's an intraday area and an intraday kind of outlook, I wouldn't be expecting, more than kind of this. Price gets there, great, can book some profits, or here, anything more will be a bonus, really. So that's kind of how I'm looking at Aussie CAD. So yeah, until I get some more PA and things look a little bit clearer, I'm not going to try and analyze too much in Aussie CAD because, yeah, it's not clear. At least for me anyway. Of course, for you, it might look good. So you're taking the trade. We all kind of have our own way of looking at things sometimes. But Aussie CAD, I just don't like the price action. Okay. Okay, I'll go through pound yen quickly. A lot of people talking about pound yen today. Tapped in the bigger time frames. Will the Bank of Japan intervention really work this time? Thanks for your work. No problem, Eric. Happy to help. So yeah, in terms of pound yen, I do feel like longer term we are reversing. I do feel like it's time for the yen pairs to finish in this bullish trend we've had for the past 2-3 years now. Since 2020, really, since COVID actually, we've been trending up high. I do think we're going to see a bit of a reversal now. So yeah, I do think Bank of Japan will, well, they have done, and I do think will sustain this and keep falling. Of course, there will be times of upside and of shorter term bullish trends, of course, just like there were short term bearish trends within here. But I do feel like the bigger move now is going to be with the bears. So from a swing point of view, I'm looking at shorts and pound yen. If I see a meaningful move to the upside, I'm getting ready to short it. Of course, it has to fit my plan and tip my boxes and all that lovely stuff. But if I can find an opportunity that fits the criteria, I'm looking to take it. Because for me, there's just so much downside potential with this one because we're very overextended in the higher time frames as well. So if pound yen falls, it can fall pretty hard too. If you look at the price action quickly, when we do come back to the downside, it almost kind of moves like an indice. We do take our time on the way up, but when we do sell off, it's pretty hard. You can see over here as well. We take our time on the way up, we sell off, it's pretty hard. We sell off pretty hard there. We take our time on the way up, sell off pretty hard as well. So I do think pound yen will kind of give us a similar characteristic on the way down. So if I see a decent move, I'm going to look to try and get involved. And that kind of goes for most of the yen pairs as well, but pound yen in particular. So yeah, I'm kind of looking at this area here for a short because we're a bit corrective right now. So I feel like we'll go through a pullback at some stage. And then that could end up being a nice trade there at some point within the week from 189. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with pound yen. Not really. I mean, longs. If you're looking for longs, they make sense too, but I think they're shorter term, at least now anyway. Mika wants to know your stop so you can tell the market makers to stop you out. I would never do such a thing, Ben. I would never do such a thing. Only if I had the power. I'm really bearish on euro pairs, but price action is not really allowing it. I think euro is a little bit strong. I know, of course, euro USD is pushing up. Euro yen's trying to do a push there. Euro CAD's put. I think this is more to do with CAD weakness, though. Euro CAD, Euro NZD, not really there, but yeah, not really there. Euro Aussie, likewise, probably Euro pound. It's actually falling there. Looks like pound's a bit stronger. What's the reason why you're bearish on euro pairs? Is it technicals or fundamentals or both? Philip, Hi, what is up? Got a long on GJ 184, target 185.56. Okay, let's investigate. If I have missed out a pair, let me know. Might have done. But yeah, I do like the longs for pound yen. I do like I've just been talking up the shorts, but I do expect to see some upside. I do expect to see the market retrace. So if you're looking for a buy, it's most likely taking advantage of a retracement for the market to continue falling, at some point this week or maybe next week. But I do like this move here. And I like it because how the price is moving, it's very corrective, number one. And number two, we're having a lot of rejection at the low here. So it does look like the market's going to pop to the upside anyway. But yeah, I just don't expect it to go for forever. And I don't think you'll be looking to trade it that way either. Your target is 185.56. That's not too far away at all. 185.56. Yeah, it's around here. So you're looking for probably like maybe 50 pips, something like that, maybe a bit more. But yeah, I mean, that's a pretty reasonable trade there, not if anything crazy. And how we've rejected that low, I think a push to 185, 500 looks pretty realistic to me. So I'm liking the trade. And I also like this candle closure as well. Really strong affirmative candle there. So I do think we'll probably push up into your target anyway. So looking good. Looking good, I have to say, Philip. Looking good. Looking good. Looking good. Depends on market structure. NZUSD around. Okay, I'll go take a look at New Zealand dollar as well. You get a lot of numbers there. I'll go take a look. Tom holding GJ short. Okay, you're still holding till 183, if I remember correctly. That's where you said your targets were last week. And New Zealand dollar longs. Okay. Hopefully the swing moves manifests profitably. I think with your GJ shorts, because I know you're sitting in some nice profit with GJ because you were holding them since last week. I believe you had a retest here, and I believe you also had a retest up here as well. So you've been really milking pound yen. What I would say is, um, do you have any trade management protocols at play, either partials or trail stop loss? Because I would suggest that because pound yen, I know your target's here at 183, and we're very close to it. But there is some signs that the market is bottoming out. Now, we could still roll over. Nothing's guaranteed. But the market is definitely struggling at this 184 area. So I don't know if maybe you do take partials or you trail a stop. But I think some type of defense mechanism here might be a good call because, yeah, price. I don't want to scare you as well because I don't want to scare someone and they close the trade and it hits their target. It's never a good place to be. And at the end of the day, you just want to manage your trade according to your plan to the best of your ability. But I would say, partial or a trail stop loss could be healthy as well in this scenario. But yeah, I'm really bearish on pound yen. So even worst case scenario, it does push up again. There's probably some re-entries you can look for to take it back down. And I'll hopefully look to join you at that stage as well. But yeah, we're not far from 83 and price may still look to roll over there. In terms of New Zealand dollar, I haven't actually looked at this one too much, mainly because I wanted to buy from the break and we tested 0.62 and we had the breakout. I was looking for the buy on the retest, but it didn't happen. So then I switched over to Aussie dollar and I took some longs there. Those failed. And I switched over to euro. So far they're going pretty well. But with NZUSD, the key thing that is annoying me is this massive level right here. So if you can get back above that, then I'll be interested for longs again. Yeah, that could definitely send us back down again. If we break above, then I feel like the sky's the limit. I'll be expecting us to push back to the high there. Yeah, I think that's the key thing for your New Zealand dollar trade. Watch out for 0.62 roughly. That's a pretty big level. And as we approach the high now, I think maybe partials or a trail stop could make sense as we approach the high because If we're going to sell off, this is where it's going to happen from. But again, you probably know what you're doing with your management. So, it's just my advice. That's all. So yeah, with New Zealand dollar, I like it to the upside because I'm really bearish USD. So I do think USD will eventually push higher. It's just, can we break through that level? And if we do, great. Probably push to 0.635 at that point. But watch out for that level. Good morning, Darkshon. Welcome to the stream. GC getting closer to that monthly support zone. Keeping an eye on the sign of shorts. Okay, where are you looking to short pound CAD from? Let me know the price you're looking to short from it, because we just had a really big breakout this morning. Only have a short from, okay. Only have a short from 186.477. The other previous I closed 1 to 3. Nice. Okay. Oh, so do you normally close trades around the 1 to 3 area? All right, no problem. We'll have a good one, my man. Don't forget to like and sub, people. Appreciate it. Yeah, guys, if you have enjoyed the content, please be sure to drop a like. There you got Will on the screen. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe, as Will said there. It does really help out the channel. And of course, make sure you do hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But have a good one, my man. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay, 1.8, 1.82. I'll have a look at pound CAD. Let me just go through this New Zealand dollar setup for Nkeba. You're looking to buy around 1.61. Okay, so you're looking for price to come a little bit further down. So you're looking for buys around here. And then you're looking to target around 0.622. Yep, 0.622. That's roughly around there. Supply zone around 0.60. There's a lot of numbers here. Target 0.6. Okay, so you're looking to buy it to sell it then. So 623, 624. So I'm just going to put it around 6.4 there. And then target's 0.611. Which is there. So you're looking to buy. Oh, probably might be looking to sell to buy at this point, because we probably hit the sells first. I mean, unless we reject that level. I mean, in terms of the location, again, where you're looking to operate, it makes perfect sense. Again, I like the areas you look to take your buys and sells every time you do share them. They're in some good places. I mean, whether I'm bullish or bearish doesn't really matter. But if you're looking to take buys in appropriate places and sells in appropriate places, and you look to manage your trades well, that's the most important thing we can do as a trader. Because even in a bearish market, bulls can make money. And a bullish market, bears can make money too. Of course, you just have to manage your trades a little bit, differently. But there's money to be made going both ways. So if you're always looking to take buys and sells at smart places, then I can't say much about that. So yeah, I like the areas you're looking to buy from and sell from. That makes sense. As I've said, I'm pretty bullish on NZUSD, so I do think we'll break higher. So if we do come back down again, that could end up being a nice little buy there. The sells look good. But if we do clear that area, then I do expect us to keep pushing and push back to 0.635 at that point. But if the market is going to throw some wigs, reject this area, then of course you could catch a really nice trade there. And you can probably catch, a really big move down if we're gonna reject that level. There's a lot of downside. Last time we rejected those levels, we came back down to 0.586. So there's a lot of room for us to sell into. So I like the areas you're looking at. Of course, you're focusing more like supply areas, where I focus more on support and resistance, but it's roughly the same areas we're looking at, really. They do overlap. But yeah, the key thing for me is that we've got that big level just in the middle of things, so it makes it a little bit awkward. So that's why I'm not the big fan of NZUSD. If we're trading above it, I'll use it to my advantage, but it's right above us, so that's why I don't like hence the USD at the moment. I mean, even Aussie dollar's got a bit more room to run into. How's USD looking? Still remotely bearish, but we're bouncing off the low. So now it's going to be make or break now for the dollar, for the DXY. Do we break the low and keep selling off, or do we bounce? We shall see. Maybe it's going to wait till Fed on Wednesday. Maybe it might just kind of consolidate, give us a few wicks here and there. Then Wednesday's going to set the emotion. I'll go through pound CAD for darker Sean. Okay, I usually be 1 to 1.5. I secure at one arm at 1.25 and take full profits at 1.3. Okay, so everything's based on risk reward. I like it. I like it. So just 10 bit shy from a point where you would go break even. Okay, GG is the one that's pulling break even point. GJ giving that hard pullback, man. Yeah, I mean, okay, when I was finding consistency in the markets, that's literally how I manage my trades. I would have a take profit at 1 to 3, and I would go break even at 1.5 R in profit, and I'll secure 50% of the profit and leave the other 50% to run to 1 to 3. And I was using that system for about maybe 18 months, I would say. And that was the first time I started becoming profitable. There's a lot of other things as well, but that kind of gave me a simple system where I knew exactly where my targets were, I knew exactly when I partial out. And especially the partialing system, taking 50% at 1.5, it just made me a lot calmer, because 1.5 R is not anything crazy, and you can secure 50%, you bank that, it helps with your equity, it helps managing drawdown as well. And then you can leave the other 50% to run to 1 to 3, which then, allows you to grow your account, because your wins will be bigger than your losses as well. So I like the target system. I really like that. So yeah, it looks like you got everything. You know what you're doing there. So again, of course, the downside of that is that you don't really take into account market price action. So that 1 to 3 could just be slightly above a big level in the market, and then the market reacts to that level, and then takes you out a break even or a loss. So it doesn't take into account those things. But again, you don't need to look for something that's perfect. Something like that, I was using for about 18 months, and it worked really, really well. So keep that up. The biggest thing is just staying consistent with it, because of course nothing's perfect. Sometimes it won't go your way, but just see out those periods. And you can always amend and adapt later on as well. But yeah, pound CAD's looking really bullish here. We're really, really pushing. Is this mainly to do with CAD? I feel like it is mainly to do with CAD. Euro CAD really pushing. Aussie CAD to some degree. New Zealand CAD to some degree as well. But yeah, pound CAD is loving life right now. Really, really big move there. Dark Sean, you're looking at selling around 1.8 to 1.82. 1.8 is there. And then 1.82 is all the way up here. Let me have a look at what you're looking at. I mean, kind of looking at the high over here, I suppose, which kind of is in the middle of the 1.82 area. So I can definitely attest to that. The 1.8 area is a big psychological level where we could mess around from. But the big thing for me, it looks like price is trying to break through this area now. I'm not going to say we are breaking through, because number one, we're just kind of at the middle of the month. We've still got 14 days left until this monthly candle does close for September. And this could easily just be another wick to the upside, and price closes back below the zone, similar to what we had over here. A bit of a wick there as well. So I'm not going to read too much into that until the monthly candle does close. But we're definitely in an area where the market can sell off from. But The key thing to me anyway is that if I do go short on pound CAD, there needs to be some evidence that the market is about to reverse. And right now, it looks like the trend is very much in full swing. So, with my trades, whenever I'm looking to take counter trend moves or reversals, it's because the market has shown some signs that it's about to reverse. And what I mean by that in terms of market structure. So if we're forming higher highs and higher lows, the market is failing at the highs and forming some lower lows. That is kind of what I'll be looking for to take some shorts. Pound CAD isn't really showing me any of that right now, and with a break like this, we could easily use this as support to go higher as well. So if you can take some reversals at 1.8 or 1.82, be my guest. There's always going to be a slightly more aggressive trade, which I'm pretty sure you're aware of. But of course, the reward that makes up for it if it does play out, because if you catch it right, you're basically catching a reversal, and it could be a new bearish trend that does form. So the reward is probably worth the risk, but of course, it's just a more aggressive trade because momentum is very much against you right now, and setup like that probably plays out pretty well here in the 4 hours. So yeah, 1.8, 1.82 especially could be seeing reversals from that area. I think the monthly candle will paint a big picture to see how we're looking. But the downside potential is there, but I need to see some signs that the market wants to reverse, and at the moment, we're looking pretty bullish. So I need that to turn around. Philip, you're looking at a buy for CAD Yen. Okay, we'll take a look at CAD Yen as well. Tom, nothing's perfect. Sometimes one will take the full 1 to 3, but the swing moves goes something like 1 to 7, but sometimes also price just hits. Yeah, and then reverses. Of course. I think as you spend more time in the markets, you begin to realize, that's the truth, because someone could show you a trade that was a 1 to 7, like you said, but take the same trade again and then it goes a 1 to 1 before it reverses and takes them out break even or potential loss. So it's literally a luck of the draw. With trading, there is skill behind it in terms of your approach and your method and your strategy, but there is an element of randomness or luck, or however you want to call it, that goes into it as well. Because I could take a trade right now, it might run to 1 to 10, and I look like a genius, and I could take another trade that just hits my stop loss within the hour, and look like an idiot. So it goes both ways. But the thing is, the logic and the reasoning behind both trades were the same. So nothing is perfect. You just have to ride your luck at times, and make sure your approach is consistent. And like you said, you pretty much got it written down there. So if you stay consistent to that, and stay consistent with your edge, you've got a decent chance of seeing success. Very good chance of seeing success. So keep at it. As I said earlier, the hardest thing about trading is going through drawdown, coming back out of it, because a lot of people go into drawdown, but they don't come out. Okay, I'll go take a look at CAD Yen. So yeah, CAD Yen looking for a buy. Yeah, CAD Yen for me is a bit of no man's land. We've kind of broken through a big level. So I want price to either come back down to this area or retest and go lower, because I'm looking for price to push back into 100.872. Now, I wouldn't look to sell now because the market's still pretty overextended. So what I said at the start of the week was I kind of want price to keep pushing lower and then give me a pullback. So at least I have some type of meaningful pullback for CAD Yen, but at the moment, not quite. I can see prices coming back into the low here, which is kind of where we stopped on a dime really and reverse. So looking to buy off that low does make sense, and maybe that actually give me my trade actually to short back down again. So that might actually be might actually hope for that that move for your sake and for my sake, because that might give me the sales I'm looking for later on. But you say you're looking for buys at 102.584, which is pretty much at the low here. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. We'll see how price gets there, see how it reacts, and if we can hold. I think it's a nice move. As I've been saying with the yen pairs as a whole, I don't think we go too far with the buys. If we do take some buys here with CAD yen or with any yen pair, I don't expect it to be anything crazy. I just expect it to be retracement for the markets to go lower. So I'll say keep an eye on 105 or this high over here, because this is where the market keeps rejecting and keeps putting in these lower highs. So I would watch out for that. That could be a nice first target or a target. Depends how far you want to take your trades. Yeah, hopefully the move has not already sold. Yeah, I mean, again, just got to stay patient. Wait for the market to come to you. Don't want to go and chase it. Of course, it's easier to say that than do it, because you want to take the trade. You want to get involved. You don't want to miss out on a trade which you've analyzed for. You spent time, researching and planning a trade just to see it move without you. Of course, that's very, very annoying. But yeah, you don't want to chase it, because even when you do take the trade and you're chasing a trade, it doesn't even feel good. You feel like you're doing something wrong. You're not going to be confident with the position as well through drawdown. So hold out on that level. It looks good. If it gets there, if it gets there. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And if it does, it could be a really nice trade. So keep an eye for it. All right, Tom, have a good one, my man. Take care. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Have a nice nice afternoon as well, and evening, of course. But yeah, if I'm going to get involved in the yen pairs, it very much is with the shorts, but I may look for a short-term buy on UJ if the price action looks good in the 4 hour, because we're trading at a really nice area where I do expect us to reverse from, right back at this area there, and we're starting to become very corrective. So the buys look good to me, but we have to see some really strong rejection for me to enter a trade. If not, then I'm going to stay out the market, because if I do buy dollar yen, I'm basically buying USD, which of course does go against my Euro USD position, which could add like a nice hedge, to be fair. Because if we do go for a pullback, I can make money in the pullback as well on the UJ whilst Euro pulls back before we continue higher. But we'll see. Maybe I get an entry, maybe I don't. Maybe I don't take the trade. But I'm keeping an eye on UJ because the upside is interesting to me at this low. So yeah, I'll keep a close eye. I'm very much bearish long term, but the buys could last 2, 3, 4 days, and could be 100 plus pips. So I'm not going to say no to that if it does look good. Move to there. There's about 400, 500 pips. Of course, my stop loss will probably be about at least 100, probably more than that. But if I can get like a 1 to 3 to that, it's a really nice trade. So I'll keep an eye on UJ buys. Swiss yen, I'm kind of just more focused on the sells, because I'm expecting us to come back within our previous all-time high. If I scroll to the left here, this was our all-time high back in 1978, believe it or not, or 1979, believe it or not. That was a previous all-time high, which we recently broke through with this move here. And now it looks like price has formed a bit of a top. I'm expecting us to come back within that high. So that's what I'm expecting for Swiss yen, and a lot of downside there. So as a swing trader, all I'm looking to do is just find these pullbacks and then just short the market, and try and find additional entries as well. So and this is a really nice textbook head and shoulder pattern as well. You got the kind of left shoulder over there, you got the head over there, and that's your right shoulder, and that's us breaking through the neckline. So now I'm just going to be looking for that next lower high afterwards for the short. So as I said, there might be some short-term bias to take advantage of the pullback, but this is the move I'm after. Maybe something like that. But yeah, it does look like the yen pairs are running out of a bit of juice. Swiss yen looks like it's about to push up. AJ as well. Dollar yen, euro yen, New Zealand yen, pound yen, CAD yen. They all look like a bit tired. So yeah, I do feel like some upside looks good. How is the JP225 looking? Okay. Oh, okay. So this one's stuck at that resistance level there. That's interesting. Because if we do hold on to this, then I would expect the yen pairs to fall. Because if the index falls, so does the yen pairs. Entries and stop loss placement are the easiest things about trading, but picking target is very tricky. Very, very true. Very, very true, Ben. It's not necessarily even targets, it's just exits. How do you exit the trade? Because you enter, you put a stop loss where you would be wrong if the idea is incorrect, of course. But how do you manage that? Do you get out when you're a little bit of profit? Do you hold out to a larger amount of profit? Do you try stops? Do you target this level, that level? And there's a kind of an infinite amount of possibilities where the market could reverse against you. You're never going to pick out the top. Of course, sometimes you will, but it's more coincidence than skill. You're never going to pick out the top of where the market moves. For example, if you're in a trade and the market goes in your favor and you're looking good, you're sitting in profit, very rarely you're going to get out at the top. You probably get out here or somewhere here, or even here, or maybe you had a target up here and the market didn't get there and you took out break even. And that's the reality of trading. That's why, in terms of targets, in terms of exits, when I was trying to become consistent initially, that's why just having a risk reward at 1 to 3 and taking partials at 1.5 really, really helped me, because it just made the target so much simpler. It wasn't the best form of targets, of course not, but it just made the stress kind of off my shoulders, because as long as I was doing what I said I'll do, I know that slowly I'll be, banking gains. In terms of maximizing profits, it wasn't so great at that, but in terms of assuring profits and counteracting drawdown, it was very, very beneficial for that. So if you can try and create a system around your exits, whether you're going to trail stops, where you're going to have a target at a certain amount of RR in your favor, or you're going to target a certain type of swing point, or a swing high, swing low, or fib extension. I feel like just having something that is easy to follow really does help in your trading, because if you're freestyling it in terms of where you're going to put your targets every time, you're going to doubt yourself, and you're going to struggle to hold out the targets as well, because you'd be floating some healthy profit, and then you think to yourself, okay, maybe I should just close it now and not hold out that extra 20 pips to my target, because it might reverse. Of course, we're all going to have those thoughts in our heads, but if you have a systematic way of taking your profit, it will help combat those thoughts. A massive deal. So highly, highly recommend having some plan with your exits, just as you have a plan with your stop loss. But yeah, targets are very tricky. Antonio, Euro NZD. Euro NZD is a pair on my watch list, actually. Keep an eye for some retest, but it's taken its sweet time to get there. I've been discussing this for easily a month now, and just hasn't got there yet. And it's just been forming this kind of triple top. I'm looking to shorten the retest of this low here, 1.81-ish or 806. Was resistance over here, turn support. This is our prior head and shoulder pattern, and this, of course, would be the neckline of the pattern. And I've been looking for the retest of the low to take some shorts back to the swing low here. So that is the plan there for UNZD. But first off, we need to get there first and then monitor how price reacts and see what type of price action we can get. And if rejection looks good, I'll see if I can swing it to the low, and then eventually probably these lows here as well. Of course, I'll just be trading, so I'll see how far we can take it. But in terms of the price action, in terms of the setup, it looks pretty self-explanatory to me. In terms of the break and retest, the level's clear for all to see. Now I just need to wait for the retest, the price action. But yeah, I like your entity. This is what I'll be looking for. And again, the market is kind of like a big range anyway. So we're just kind of seeing price fluctuate, and I'm kind of looking for that continuation to the lower end of things. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for your entity. Hopefully you can get some setups at some point this week. But it's been difficult because we've just been consolidating, and I hope price hasn't found the high here and we're just going to sell off now, because we could very much do that. But yeah, I'll be holding out for a bigger push higher. Not really trading at any scenario level of significance for me right now, so I need price to push a little bit higher first, and then I'll look for some entries. Pound is the similar situation there as well. How the indices looking? Yeah, indices been really bullish. Has anyone been looking at the indices to trade? I mean, it's been difficult because ever since, was that CPI? I think that was CPI on Wednesday, last week Wednesday. Ever since the CPI announcement, they've just been flying. This is US 30, big push up. NAS, big push up. S&P, big push up, almost back at highs. How is the DAX looking as well? The DAX, not as impulsive or as bullish, but nice push up as well. So safe to say the indices have been really bullish. So if you're looking to short them, probably would have had a difficult time with that. And if you're looking to buy as well, unless you're kind of focusing intraday, it hasn't been much of a pullback to buy them, or much of an opportunity to buy them anyway. So it's been difficult with the indices since CPI. They're coming back to their highs now. S&P is not far from the high at 56.60. US 30 is pretty much back at the high now. And then, yeah, US 100 got a lot of work to do, but I do think this one eventually will push back to the high. In fact, this could be a nice little buy here this week, actually. The market can have a little bit of a breather, come back and retest the swing high here as well as the swing low. This could be a really nice place for a buy. And then see if we can take it back to the high this week. And then maybe we can discuss 20.739 up there as well. But yeah, for now, I think that's a sensible trade. So yeah, indices look pretty bullish to me. Maybe it's time then for them to see some downside in terms of some healthy pullbacks, because they've been bullish since last week, and now they're coming back into some major highs, especially US 30, especially S&P as well. So maybe we're going to see some downside for them, but I've got a feeling that eventually we'll just break the high. Same for US 30, we'll probably break the high. And then yeah, NAS has got a lot of work to do. But again, this comes from USD being weak as well. This comes from USD being weak. So if USD turns around this week, maybe it will turn around with the indices as well. That's why the Fed interest rate is going to be a very pivotal news event this week, because it will probably set up the dollar for probably in the next month, at least in terms of direction. So that will set up the indices and set up crypto probably to a degree. And it will definitely set out the majors as well. But I already know I'm pretty bearish, so see either that news will align with my bias or it won't. And if I need to change, I'll change. But for now, I'm still very much looking at the buys. And I'll keep an eye on USD CAD, because if things look good there, I may take some entries on USD CAD as well. Okay, looks like gold might be seeing a bit of downside. If gold can drop pretty hard, maybe you can get the retest of this level this week, 25.30. That would be very much appreciated. Silver, likewise as well. Retest the high there, looking for a buy. I really do like silver because I think a push to the high is almost as good as guaranteed, which I should not be saying, because nothing's guaranteed. But I think there's just a very high chance we get back to the high there at 32.5. So if I can find a buy somewhere on the retest of the high and things look good in terms of entries, I'm definitely going to take the buy. And the risk reward looks pretty good as well. Back to the high. Something like this looks pretty good to me. And gold looks good as well. I just not too sure if gold will see as big as a pullback to get there. But the main difference between silver and gold is that gold is really at all-time highs. Silver is nowhere near. So there's just so much upside. Would you long pull back to 25.30 for gold? Yes, 100%. For me, that looks like a great level. The main thing I like about the level is that we had so many retests of this level prior to the breakout. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tests of this area. Again, nothing's 100%, but the fact that price retested 7 times and 7 times well shows that there's a lot of interest at this level. So I do expect price to react and hold at this level and continue that trend. So if price does pull back to 25.30, 100% I'll be looking for some entries. Of course, I don't take trades just off the bat. I'll be looking for rejection and candlestick patterns. But if I do see what I want to see, I'll be in the trade. And yeah, I'll look for my entries because gold is pretty bullish on all time frames. I know it's at all-time high, so that's the only kind of conundrum with gold is that we're at all-time highs. And if this was like a Euro USD or like a pound yen, I wouldn't really buy. I don't like buying at all-time highs or selling at all-time lows, especially in FX because we turn to reverse on ourselves most of the time. If you go back and check a lot of FX pairs, when we do create new all-time highs or all-time lows, we do have a big pullback afterwards most of the time. Gold, however, is a different kettle of fish because gold can keep pushing. So I'm not afraid to long on gold. And same with silver. But yeah, I'm very bullish on both of them. I think fundamentally and technically they line up pretty well to the upside. So I would not be backing away from longs and gold. And because the breakout is very clean as well. Just a very assertive breakout. So I'm happy to follow that. It's just whether we get the pullback or not. Euro USD is looking pretty good so far as well. Possibly could see a retest of this area before we continue. That could be a place for re-entry. I'm not too sure. I would take re-entries on that area. It's not really a significant enough place for me for a re-entry, but maybe on the intraday level, if you're looking to buy euro, that's not a bad place for it. Likewise with pound as well. As you approach this area, that could be a nice place for a buy. And then USD still pushing up, Aussie dollar still pushing up. Again, I could have taken some buys on Aussie dollar as well. This one actually set up before euro. It was a nice entry here on that candle, stops below. So I could have been trading Aussie dollar, but I decided to wait for euro because I preferred euro a little bit more, just because conditions were a little bit smoother. If I zoom out, look at Aussie dollar, you can see it's a very, very choppy pair. Whereas euro, although it has been choppy, there's been a bit of a zip with euro in terms of the buys. We've seen some nice momentum there. So I held out for euro instead. And again, I'll probably be in a similar amount of profit, to be honest. But this one sets up on Wednesday, I believe. Yes, Wednesday. So yeah, I'll be looking to take it back to the high there, and maybe if things look good, I can trade it to the high there. But euro's doing a good job, so I can't complain. And pound USD is looking good too. Either one would have been good. What's up, Indumiso? Hope I'm saying that correctly. Probably not, but welcome to the stream. Hope you're good. What's your take on Euro Swiss? Euro Swiss. Haven't looked at Euro Swiss, have I? Yeah, so a CHF pair. So naturally bearish because that's what we've been doing for a very long time. Only thing I don't like about Euro Swiss is that we recently made a new all-time low past this point here with this little wick. So that's a bit annoying. If we didn't, it would be really nice because I'd be expecting us to push down. But now that we wicked through, it's made things a little bit awkward. But generally speaking, Euro CHF is still pretty bearish. You can still see we're maintaining these lower highs here, which is the key thing for Euro Swiss. I feel like it depends what you're looking at. If you're looking at intraday, then I'll be looking at these areas for some shorts, which we did respect pretty well on Friday or Thursday. So this is kind of where I'll be looking for entries with stops above the high. So if I'm looking to get involved, I want to see another push up higher, look for some entries in that area, and then stops above the high, and then just looking to continue this bear structure back to the low, or maybe this low, or maybe the low down there if I'm feeling really optimistic about the position. But yeah, I'll be bearish on your CHF. We're maintaining lower low, lower high. I wouldn't be looking to buy at all until structure breaks. So if we break above this high, drop to the full hour. If we break above this high, then maybe there could be some nice bullish opportunities in the back of that. But of course, we haven't done that yet. So not going to speak too much about that. But for now, really nice retest on Thursday. We haven't moved too well, so price may look to retest again. And then, yeah, hopefully you can find some entries on the retest of that. But yeah, Euro Swiss for me, still very bearish on. Higher time frames, extremely bearish, and I like to trade in that direction majority of the time. It's always just a nice confluence to have if you're in the direction of higher time frames. So yeah, I'll be looking at something like that for Euro Swiss. It's been a sturdy level. If we do break above, then we probably don't want to look at sells anymore anyway. So if price does clear 0.44, like I said, there might actually be some buys to be looking at. But for now, I'm pretty bearish on most of these CHF pairs. Pretty bearish on most of them. It's not really clean. Actually, I'm bearish on most of them, but I'm actually looking to buy Aussie CHF if it gets to the low, which I'm not too sure if it will. But the buy I'm looking for on Aussie CHF is the retest of this low here, because it's been such a pivotal level of support. Once, twice, three, fourth, minus this big fake out, of course. But it's been such a major support level. So if it gets to the low, I will look for some entries like this. See if I can take that to the upside. Definitely is a counter trend position, and definitely is against the higher time frames. But because of the significance of the level, and of course where we're located as well, I do like the buy. And if it does fail, I'll look to switch that bias around and see if I can short it to fill the wick to the downside. So I don't mind having a bullish stab at it. But yeah, I do like the buys there on the CHF, I must admit. Ben, are you still in that New Zealand CHF long position? So I remember you were mentioning last week. Haven't seen too much from New Zealand CHF. We had a bit of a dump, but yeah, it's a high time frame swing we're looking at. So it's not going to be a straightforward move, especially with a pair like New Zealand CHF. It will take its time. You can see we had a lovely sell-off there, really aggressive momentum. I do expect the upside to be a bit more corrective and take its time. It's probably going to look something like that. But the benefit of that is that if you're on the lower time frames and you're focused on it, there will be some scaling opportunities. But I do expect to take its time though, which is the only bad thing about looking for some bigger swings. There's only one bad thing is that it could take a very long time to go. So yeah, That's the only the downside of looking at bigger swings, that it might take a while to get going. But then again, if it gives you pullbacks, there might be some entry opportunities to re-enter, really maximize the trade. And I feel like if you're looking for those bigger swings, you probably want to be looking to scale into the trade really, because it could take a while and you want to make it worthwhile. Looking at the daily time frame, there's going to be a trade for about 6 months. Yeah, exactly. So that's the downside. That it's, I mean, the thing is, if you got like a massive account, then you can afford to take a trade like that, because if the profit is going to be worthwhile, then if it takes 6 months, it takes 6 months. But if you're going to make a lot of money from that single trade, then it's worthwhile. So if you've got a massive account, you can afford that. If you don't have a massive account, of course, you want to be a bit more active than one trade every 6 months, of course. So yeah, if you're gonna look for bigger swings, then scalings could be beneficial, because then you could take trades within that period. But yeah, I mean, especially because it's New Zealand CHF as well, it will take its time, especially on the up moves. Down moves a little bit quicker, as we can see, but the up moves will take their time. Like, look at this. Nice push up, consolidated there for about 231 days. So that's about 2/3 of a year. And then it had a nice swing to the upside. So New Zealand CHF is probably not the best one to long-term trade either. I think if you're going to look for a longer-term trade, the yen pairs would be a bit more fruitful, whether you're selling or buying, because they do have a bit more about them. But even the yen pairs will consolidate from time to time. But yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. If you had huge lot size, then it wouldn't matter so much. But even for 6 months, it's a lot for anyone to hang on to a trade. For any retail trader, that is. Yeah, that's the funny thing as well. It'd be brutal for a trade that's in profit for months and then come back and break even. Yeah, it would feel like a waste of time. And I think that's the big debate as well. Like, if you're gonna swing trades for like multiple months, you in reality you will have some really nice trades. If you swing for forever and have some really nice risk to rewards. But on the other hand, you will have some trades that will just consolidate for like 2 months just to go and take you out for a loss, or 2 months just to push into profit and then come back and take you out for break even, as you just said there. So there's that side to the coin as well. Yeah, and I feel like for people who are going to be trading like that, for like holding positions for like 2 months at a time or more, they will naturally have really big accounts, so they can afford to do that. Because if you're trading like that with $1,000 or $100 in your account, there's little to no point doing that, really. Little to no point. Or even small five figures as well. Unless trading is just literally a hobby for you and you're not really too bothered about it, you want to make profits, but it's more of a hobby and you're focused elsewhere, then yeah, the 6 month, 2 months thing could be worthwhile, because it's not going to take a lot of your energy out. You're holding trades for a long time. You can focus on a lot of other things and just have trading in the background isn't really in the background. So that would make sense. But if you want to be an active trader, or somewhat active, then yeah, you want to be a bit more active than that. Intra-week has been a sweet spot for me. 31-hour entries, winning trades, take through 2-3 days. Yeah, that's a nice little blend as well. Nothing too aggressive, nothing too slow either. I think for me, 2 to 3 days has kind of been my average for winners, but now that I'm moving to the 4 hour, I'll probably be looking at maybe maybe about a week or maybe two on average for winners now. Probably close to a week, but maybe if I catch some really nice winners that I need to trail, they may take a couple of weeks. Like for Euro USD, I've entered on Thursday. So this Thursday, that will be a week into the trade. Of course, we've got the Fed interest rate, so that might boost the position or maybe not. But, if we're going to get back to the high here, that could take a few more days. So could be looking at a week or two. So it's kind of roughly what I'll be working with, which I don't mind. A week or two is not bad. And again, that won't be one position at a time. I'll be holding maybe 2 or 3 positions. So yeah, a bit more longer term, but I think 1 to 2 weeks is not too bad. Although, yeah, it will push the patience a little bit more, I must admit. Yeah, that's true. If you get behind a good move, it can be done in a single day. Yeah, I think that's where the news comes in. But yeah, I mean, of course, it's an average. Some trades you'll be done in a day. Some trades it might push to maybe 4 or 5 days. With me as well, I could potentially be done in 2-3 days with some of my swings I'll be looking for, but others I might get caught in some ugly consolidation that might take a week before it then breaks out. So that will factor into things as well. It's a bit like what gold did. I'm pretty sure Nick was in a trade long gold and he sat through all of the consolidation, but then finally you catch the breakout. So I think he was in the trade for almost a month. I feel like in about 5 or 6 days will be a month. So I had to sit through all of that to get this, and I feel like I'll be in more of those positions. But as long as you know what you're in for and you accepted it, then there's nothing to worry. No problem. Euro USD did me down Thursday, took me out, then went back to your direction. It happens, my man. It happens. It happens. Maybe it was a mistake in your end in terms of your trade management. Maybe you did something out of your plan in terms of maybe going to break even too early or whatever. So if that's the case, then of course that's on you. But if it's just you followed your plan, you went to break even when you were meant to go break even, it made sense to go break even. And of course, then that's just on the market. That's just the market, like you said, doing you dirty. As it will do everyone. Everyone will get their fair share of being done dirty. Do not worry about that, because that I can guarantee. And yeah, sometimes the market will do that sometimes. Philip, what I think of an entry 2.573 on gold. I think you mean 2573. 2573, 2573. Let me drop to the 30-minute for that. 2573. Okay, so you're talking about this area here. Not bad. Not bad. I do like it. I feel like even this low is not a bad area to be looking to work with. How are we looking on the 15? Nice little wick there. It's about to close. See how the next one closes after. But yeah, I don't mind it. I do not mind it on gold, because the idea is that there's a lot of momentum in the market and you expect us to maintain this momentum. So if we're coming back to a retest and we see some rejection, you're looking for the market to continue. Of course, if we're breaking through this, then maybe gold is going for a bigger retracement anyway. So from an intraday standpoint, I think it makes a lot of sense. Both of these levels I would be looking at intraday. They make a lot of sense to me. I'll probably be looking at entries maybe like 15 or even 5 minutes to really get a nice entry and maximize the risk to reward. But yeah, I do like it for gold. I do like it. Of course, this is what I'm looking at, but intraday, it makes sense. Intraday, it makes sense because there's just a lot of momentum at the moment. So you do expect that momentum to sustain. If it doesn't, then you take the loss, or maybe there's no trade to take, and then price goes for a bigger pullback. But so a trade like that might be the only trade you get before gold goes on another big move. So I do like it. Silver as well, looking similar. So yeah, dollar. Can we break through? I feel like we probably won't do anything till Wednesday. Maybe I'll be proved wrong. Do we have anything on Tuesday? Okay, we got retail sales on Tuesday. Maybe that can move the market. We've got CPI for CAD as well. That'd be interesting. But no, there is retail sales. That could give us a breakout maybe. Today we've got Empire State Manufacturing Index. I'm not too sure how much movement that's gonna cause, but maybe that might move the market a little bit, but nothing I'll worry about. But retail sales could be interesting Tuesday afternoon. And then of course, Wednesday, we've got the Fed. Thursday, we got Bank of England interest rate on Thursday. I'll probably cover that on the stream as well. So that'll be interesting. And Friday we got inflation for JPY. That'll be interesting. And a bit of CAD news in the afternoon as well. But yeah, the main thing is definitely Fed interest rate, and then of course Bank of England interest rate as well. But anyway, guys, we have come up to the end of the stream. If you have found the stream helpful, useful, informative, educational, entertaining, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It does really help out the channel, and thanks to everyone who has liked and who has subscribed as well. It does really benefit the channel, really helps out, so I do really appreciate it. If you guys haven't done already, make sure you check out the Discord link to Elevating Traders Discord, completely free to join. There will be discount opportunities there for when we launch. So if you don't want to miss out on that, make sure you go check out the Discord channel as well. I do appreciate everyone coming on. I will be live again tomorrow, same time as always, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., as I will be every day of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday as well. So yeah, if you're free, make sure you pop in and say hello. But guys, have a great Monday. I will catch you tomorrow. If I have any updates in terms of trades, you'll see it in the Telegram. I'll mention it on Discords. But otherwise, take care. Have a good day. And I'll see you in the next stream.